In August and September of this year, Antybu86 made two videos which I will respond to individually, entitled How to Convert a Meat Eater to Veganism. He admits in the sidebar that a more fitting title would be How Not to Convert a Meat Eater to Veganism, since the videos consist of his arguments against the most common points made by my fellow vegans. The videos were made as a sort of challenge to vegans to defend their views more coherently, and I intend to do my best in that regard. Let's get started.
Argument 1. The meat industry is one of the biggest contributors to global warming. Therefore, people should stop eating meat in order to save the environment. There's no doubt in my mind that giant factory farms spew out an enormous amount of pollution. These large amounts of cows do produce loads of the greenhouse gas methane. But the best solution to this problem is innovation. Methane, as you might know, can be used as a power source. In fact, some smaller farms actually harvest the methane from cow feces in order to power their farms.
Oh, it's a river of poo!
Oh, can you smell that? That is the sweet smell of power.
And it all goes into this.
So that's the size of digester you need to power the farm.
Yes, it is. It does about 90% of our electricity.
How much gas is produced by this pond?
We produce about 2,000 cubic feet per day.
And how much liquid does it take to produce all this gas?
Oh, this is a 650,000 gallon pond.
Wait, so you don't have any electricity bills? You don't have any gas bills? You don't have any bills to heat your water up?
Very little.
I'm getting me a cow.
So eating beef produced by this farm wouldn't do quite as much environmental damage. And as technology advances, similar processes of harvesting this energy will most definitely emerge, become more efficient, and be possible on a much larger scale.
While I agree that digesters are an elegant way of solving some of our energy and pollution problems, I'm not convinced that digester technology will be in use on a much larger scale in the U.S. anytime soon. According to the EPA, there were only 125 digesters in the U.S. in 2008. And 75% of digesters are on dairy cow operations. In 2007, there were over 2,000 feedlots with a capacity for more than 1,000 cattle, and there were 757,000 total beef cow operations in 2008. These numbers do not even include all the other animal production facilities for pigs, chickens, turkeys, etc. And anyway, even if digester construction starts ramping up sometime soon, currently, digesters are not in widespread use, so meat eating enables the production of more greenhouse gases right now. Just because there might be widespread use of solar-powered cars in the future does not mean that driving a gasoline-powered car has less of an effect in the present.
Until then, fishing and hunting could actually be considered the green alternative. Hunting deer, for example, actually aids the environment because it balances the ecosystem where deer would otherwise overcrowd and eliminate other animal species in the area.
2 quick points. First, I agree that hunting could help an ecosystem, but promoting natural predators would make the ecosystem even healthier. Second, I doubt very much that you eat only hunted meat, so you're being inconsistent if you think that this is the type of meat eating that will help the environment the most, at least until digesters are in widespread use.
Argument number 2. Veganism or vegetarianism is healthier than eating meat. Therefore, people should stop eating meat altogether. It's true that low meat or no meat diets actually can extend a person's life expectancy by several years. Although I should qualify that by mentioning the study I found, which shows that vegetarians who also continue eating fish tend to have a lower average death rate than those who do not.
I won't be disputing this point.
But the main problem with this argument is that people do have the right to lead unhealthy lifestyles if they choose. When a person does something dangerous or unhealthy, as long as they understand the risks and aren't harming anybody else, you shouldn't force them to act differently.
We are not forcing anyone to do anything. People can be as unhealthy as they want. When vegans point out the health benefits of their lifestyle, they're usually just trying to show that, as well as being the more moral option, veganism will, in most cases, make you healthier.
Number 3. If all the land the United States uses for meat production were turned into farms that grow crops for a human diet, we could feed the world. This is a claim I've heard very often, but with practically no amount of analysis to back it up. To make this claim, it first needs to be shown that such a conversion of land is even possible. After all, Not all land will be able to support such crops. It also has to be shown that it's economically feasible. A conversion like this would require a huge influx of trained workers that might not be possible over any reasonable period of time. An extremely large amount of farm equipment and farm supplies would also be in demand, but that might not be producible in a reasonable period of time either, which could in turn play havoc with the economy. And even ignoring these problems, there would probably be a transition period in which we would have to figure out how to feed everybody. The list of potential major problems goes on and on and on, and until a team of experts tackles this issue, nobody should be making such bold claims.
You seem to be arguing against a bit of a straw man. Of course, not all feedlots could become farms, but there are a multitude of things that they could be useful for. Yes, the economic effects of a universal and instantaneous elimination of meat production could be quite drastic, but that is not how it would occur in reality. As Americans slowly became more and more vegetarian, feedlot land would be gradually converted to agricultural and other uses, and more food would be produced. Also, you did not address the fact that animals eat much of the grain and organic material produced by farms currently, so even if all the newly emptied feedlots were not converted to farms, there would still be a lot more food on the market. Even assuming that there could be a universal and instantaneous elimination of meat production, and that this would cause a lot of market disruption, does that really affect the morality of the act? If slavery was completely and instantaneously eliminated in the antebellum South, wouldn't it have had dire economic effects? Would that make it any less moral?
Finally, number 4. Humans did not evolve to eat meat.
I've never heard anyone make this claim in my life, so I will not respond to this part of your video. Obviously, we are omnivores. Links to all my references will be in the sidebar. I will have my rebuttal to a second video out as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.